A very good afternoon. You're watching NewsX and I'm Shivani Singh. India is on the brink of a historic milestone, a Maoist Mukt Bharat. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has repeatedly asserted that the country will be completely free from the decades-old Maoist menace by March 31st, 2026. Under the Modi government's multi-pronged strategy of security development and Saranda rehabilitation, results have been dramatic. The Maoist-affected districts have crashed from 126 in 2014 to just 11 now, with only a handful still classified as most affected. In 2025 alone, security forces eliminated over 300 Maoists, including top leaders like CPI Maoist General Secretary Basava Raju and dreaded Commander Madhvi Hidma. Thousands more have surrendered, receiving rehabilitation packages. And to discuss this historic milestone, joining us on this broadcast is DIG Rajiv Ranjan Singh. He is a former IPS officer from the Jharkhand police, and he served in various locations that in fact are very crucial to this entire Maoist Mukt Bharat campaign. Let me in fact welcome you, sir. Thank you so much for taking out your time and for speaking to NewsX. We always appreciate it. Sir, you kind of represent the Jharkhand chapter of this conflict. You've served as the SP in Simdega and in Godda, and also as the DIG in Chaibasa, which is very important, sir, because it serves as the gateway to the Saranda forest. Now, this was once considered the Maoist eastern headquarters, sir. So, your perspective is rooted in the most difficult terrain in India. I want to understand, sir, as DIG of Chaibasa, you oversaw the Saranda forest. This is considered the most impenetrable liberated zone of the Maoists at one point. Tomorrow, sir, the Home Ministry will officially declare the country as Maoist free. Did you ever imagine that this time, you will see this time so possible so soon?
Actually, the time given by our Honorable Home Minister was 31st March 2026. And as you have already told, Saranda, or you can say the Chaibasa district, is one of the highly affected district of Naxals in Jharkhand. Previously, 21 districts of the Jharkhand were highly Naxal affected. Now we can say that only 2-3 districts have left, and the rest districts are out of the Naxal affected areas. But still, Saranda patches, recently some encounters have been done. We can say that Misir Besra is the CC member and one of the important Maoist leader of that area. And around 50-60 cadres of Maoist have been still operative in that area. And that is still a challenge for the police to completely make Naxal free of Saranda.
Absolutely. And so, since you mentioned the challenges that are faced by the officials over there, Simdega and Godda have been in fact infamous for lack of human intelligence that in fact helps nab these Maoist commanders. Like you said, there are still certain pockets in the Saranda forest that have not been cleared. But right now, sir, we are seeing a completely different India. We are seeing Maoists actually surrender. They are actually coming back into the mainstream society. What do you think has changed, sir? Because you have served in Simdega, you have served in Godda, you have served in Chaibasa. What do you think has changed on the ground, sir, that makes all these Maoist commanders and in fact these people actually give up their arms and now come back into the mainstream society?
Actually, the challenges before the police at the time when I was posted there was the lack of communications, because most of these areas are covered by the forest and hilly terrains, mountains. The lack of roads, lack of mines-free roads, you can say a lack of development process, These are the basic challenges before the police. And still in Saranda area, we are lacking this. You can't say that movement of the police forces and movement of the other district administration officials is hassle free in that area. Although there are so many areas which have developed in Jharkhand, but still there are areas where terrain is very difficult. In Chaibasa district, the whole district is almost hilly and forest covered areas. So it is not very easy for forces to go in that area and to operate very successfully and return back. Although these challenges are for Maoist also, they have also the challenges of terrain. But since they are living in that area, so we can say that they are comparatively in upper hand than the police for that area. And police have challenges, but I think police still we have to go and miles to go and miles to go before I sleep. You can
Absolutely.
say we have to do a lot of things in Naxal front, because one thing I want to bring in notice for our countrymen, कि Naxal problem is not started in very near 2 years or 10 years or 15 years. It has started in 1967. You can say almost 59 years back. So we cannot expect that this problem can be eradicated or this problem can be 100% solved within a limit time frame of 31st March 2026. Because जो 59 years में जो समस्या शुरू हुई थी, उसको we can't overcome that problem in a overnight.
Right.
Although our Home Minister has given the time limit, and you can see that in these time limits in 2025, I think a number of good works, a number of achievements have been done by the CRPF and state police, and not only in Jharkhand but almost Chhattisgarh, Gadchiroli, almost every part of the India, in you can say Telangana, everywhere central forces have got very, very upper hand in Naxal operations. But
Absolutely.
one thing, this operation should be continued in future also, because whenever you will close this operation, we can't say that this will not come again. Naxal will not rise again. So it is a time for the central forces to hold those areas who has been freed by the Naxals. It is very
Absolutely.
important to hold these areas.
Absolutely. Because history, in fact, sir, has shown us that wherever a vacuum is created, some of the other forces try to occupy that vacuum. But, sir, I want to come back to one of the challenges that you again mentioned over here, the lack of communication, intelligence, and also roads. I want to understand, you have served, sir, as the SP in both Jamshedpur rural and also Ranchi rural. Now, these were considered as buffer zones, sir, where Maoists often moved between the jungle and the city. You mentioned how crucial road development was for our forces as well, because Maoists know the area, but it was difficult for the forces to in fact travel in these areas. So there was this road requirement plan that was also put forth. How important was that when you were the SP in Jamshedpur and Ranchi rural?
Actually, road is important for not only police but for villagers also to come to the mainstream. When there will be a lack of communication, then the general population will also be in a cut-off mode from the good governance. So it is very important that communication and electricity and medical facility, these are the basic needs of tribals also and villagers also, other than tribal. So this is the prime duty of the government, you can say the Jharkhand government and all state governments, to provide the basic facilities like drinking water, medical facilities, communication. As I have seen in a national media that after the independence, first time a state transport bus had gone in Gadchiroli area. Now just imagine कि after 80 years of the independence or almost 80 years, पहला बार बस गढ़चिरौली के उस रिमोट गांव में गया है, तो आप जस्ट वी कैन इमेजिन दैट कि हाउ मेनी विलेजर्स were getting very tough and toughest situations in rainy season or in any season to come to the hospital, come to the market, come to catch the buses and railways. So, government, the prime duty of the government to focus on these issues, schools, health, sanitation, education, or roads. These are the basic infrastructures requirement of the village. Certainly, Naxal do not want to develop these facilities because ये जब नहीं रहेगा, there will be a very much easier things for them to gain over the sympathy of the villagers. The government has done nothing. So it is the duty of the government to fill up the blanks, and it is the duty of the forces also, even state forces, not only paramilitary forces, to fill up these gaps. When the paramilitary forces will go out from these areas, it is very important for the state forces to hold these areas.
Right. So, my final two questions to you before I let you go is I want to understand, sir, firstly, the government schemes that have been introduced by the central government. There is a monetary incentive, there is also skill development, there are a lot of facilities, there are schools that are being established in areas like you said, the areas which are emptied from the Maoist regime, they can in fact, they should not be left alone, they should develop it further. So, schools are being established by the authorities over there to make sure that children also get education if there are in that region. And so, I want to understand your observations regarding the schemes that have been introduced by the government. Do you think that has expedited, this Maoist Mukt Bharat campaign that, we have waged? And also, I want to finally understand that you have mentioned that after March 31st, obviously we are going to declare ourselves as a country that will see mostly we are Maoist free. But what are the other challenges that we will be facing? Like you said that these operations should continue even after March 31st. So these 2 points, sir, before I let you go.
Very good questions. First, the development which are on the paper, I'm sorry to say that, the reflection of the development in village areas and on paper, there is a big gap between this. There are so many villages in Jharkhand, you can say in Saranda areas, you can say in remote areas of Palamu, you can say in remote areas of Bokaro, Hazaribagh, Chatra, where still development is far, far away from the national parameter. Still. So it is, so many villagers are displaced due to mining areas because Jharkhand is one of the mines-rich, minerals-rich state in the India. So there are so many displaced tribals in the forest. They are still living in the forest areas without the basic amenity. Even they are not getting the pure water. They have no either, you can say, hand pump, motor system, though it is far away. Okay, there will be a tap water, but even hand pumps are also not available in Saranda areas. There are so many villages there. So it is the government should focus for the development, and there should be a plan in coordination with the state government and central government for the fast developing projects in those areas. Secondly, your second question is the Naxal operations after 31st. It is very important that state government and central government, central paramilitary forces should identify those areas. Already they are identifying where Naxals pockets have been left. Naxals are hiding in in that areas. We should focus that, and you should make massive operations in those areas. Secondly, those areas which are free from the Naxals, We have to hold those areas. So we can't leave that areas. Otherwise, a splinters group will rise up and they will take the charge of that area. Because we have seen in Jharkhand, there are so many splinters groups like TPC, like PLFI. So they are also originally the Maoist, but now the Maoist free areas may they develop their hold and they behave like a Maoist. So it is very important to hold those areas who are who are Maoist free areas, and only central forces can't do this. State forces should come out. State forces should hold those areas and continuously faith building operations, interaction with the villagers, and deputy commissioner should be made responsible to make interaction with the villagers as per their need of development. This is
Right.
the this is the basic requirement, and then we can say that these areas will remain Maoist free.
All
Thank you.
right.